So we're here at IMAIN to get as many pad thais as I possibly can fit in my belly right now after an unsuccessful Everesting. We got nearly 18,000 feet, I think, of climbing. But it's always the things you never expect, you know, the things you don't plan for. So I thought the thing that was going to be my downfall was going to be my saddle sore. I thought my arse would hurt so much I just wouldn't be able to continue, but that felt fine. And to be honest, my legs still feel fine. I can still push around 300 watts, just easy, just easy. But in the end, it turned out to be the heat for me. So it was just so hot on from the bottom to Doisetet. It was just so hot that I was losing so much water relentlessly. I just couldn't hold on to water, and I became delirious at one point where my eyes were going crossed. And like, if you're descending like that, then that's just dangerous. So when it got to the point of danger, I was like, maybe it's time to check out. But I stuck it for another 2 reps, another 2 laps of Doi Pui. But then, yeah, Remy and his neck, this here, this neck here, I can't put. Yeah, he got really bad neck pain. That just meant that when he couldn't descend properly either. And so when it got to we entered the danger zone, where we had to call it whether to continue or not. And instead, we're here getting noodles, which I'm glad about. But yeah, it was a brilliant day. It was a brilliant day. Like as I said in the last video, I learned a lot. I learned a lot about how you need to hydrate in a tropical country when you're trying to do some insane bicycle feat. Probably, yeah. I would agree with my title in the last video. It's the toughest one-day challenge in cycling. I would definitely recommend anybody to try an Everesting, even if you don't complete an Everesting, you should try one, because you will learn so much about yourself, about how far you can push yourself on the bike, your fitness. Yeah, it's a learning experience. Remy, was it the hardest ride you've done in your life?
Yeah, it was the most climbing. I've only ever done like 12,000 something feet. So, I mean, 100 miles is like,
yeah.
I laugh at a 100-mile bike ride,
yeah.
Not with 17,000 feet of climbing.
But it was intense. It was like one of the most intense rides, wasn't it? I mean, like just the pain.
Just over and
suffering.
Over. It's not very like, it's not an adventure ride. Like, you just go and it's like doing homework. It's boring. You're just like doing, because like, you have to do it.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah.
I think it's the mental challenge. I think there's nothing quite like it for the challenge of your mind, but also of the body, because today it was all about the body. It wasn't so much our legs, because Remy was really strong today, weren't you, Remy?
Yeah, I feel
really
like
strong.
I feel like
you can still go now. Yeah.
Yeah.
We would still be on there now if it wasn't for me going cross-eyed and Remy having neck issues. He even got a little massage. Well, the sound's not going to be great now, so I'm going to sign off. But yeah, appreciate you watching, and hopefully we'll be able to do better in the next Everesting. So, despite having completed an Everesting in the past, today I got a very real reminder why it's actually the toughest one-day challenge in cycling. Let's get this party started. You win some, you lose some. These things aren't meant to be some other cliche. In an Everesting, something very small can get blown up to become completely devastating. And unfortunately, both Remy and I developed issues that meant it just wouldn't be safe to continue to descend anymore. All the will in the world was there, but when it becomes needlessly dangerous, it's just no longer worth it. And we had to fight every single bone in our bodies to give up. Every single muscle sinew in our body that wanted to push all the way to that 8,848 meters. We most definitely went deep with this ride, and what I learned, I couldn't have learned any other way. It was an awesome experience, and I'm just grateful that I've got someone as insane as I am to ride with on something like this. Having attempted an Everesting of just 8 reps, and having completed one of 480, I wouldn't say that one was easier than another, or one was more difficult than another. In fact, what I would say now is that an Everesting is an Everesting, and no matter what, you still have to climb that 8,848 meters. One terrain might be easier than another. You know, one might have less obstacles, one might have smoother tarmac, one might have, you know, an incline that's perfect for your gearing all the way up, you know, a continuous climb. But at the end of the day, you're still going to be in that saddle for 10 to 14 hours, and that's going to take its toll. What I'm going to do, I'm going to ride to wattage, like 220 watts, which I know I can do for like 8 hours, and just keep tapping it out, tap it out. You know, I can be out here all day getting it done. This is an endurance effort, it's not a race. Stick to watts, and just concentrate on what's in front of you. Don't think about the next rep, don't think about how many reps you've got left to go. Just look at the tarmac, keep your eyes up ahead, and concentrate on that. Sean's gone off. He doesn't know what watts he's riding to because he doesn't have a power meter. We'll bring him back in a minute. What I would say is that the difference between you reaching that summit and falling short is actually the little things. It's being mindful of those things that during a normal ride you would just never pay attention to. I am delirious as fuck. Finding it really hard to keep my eyes open. Just losing so much water. Just losing so much water. I just can't retain it. I can't drink enough water not to feel like this. So I'm just going to take a little break. Take 5 for lunch, and we'll see what we feel like after that. See how far we can go. I'm going to keep going until I grind myself to the ground and I see 0, and I'm still pedaling and I see 0 watts on the Garmin. I'm not going to stop until then. Are you a masseuse? You know, the way how your form is on the bike, the way you're sitting, how your wrist is. You know, if you're starting to get little niggles in your wrist, or maybe your mouth is dry, you know, it's probably already too late, because it's only going to get harder from here, and those things, those little niggles, unless you do something about them, they're only going to get worse. And these are the things that are going to end it for you. These are going to be the devastating things that are going to mean you're just not going to be able to continue for the next 5 to 10 hours. It's about you combating the erosion of body and mind throughout the day. That means that by the end of it, by the end of that 14 hours, you're still able to push that last 100 meters that mean you can reach that summit of Everesting. What you learn from an Everesting, especially a failed Everesting attempt, is so valuable. I can't wait to get back out there again. Let's do this. This Everest ain't gonna ride itself.